every person has a different story. People always want to say how many are the homeless are there in Lexington, Kentucky. The last official count, which was done on January 31st of 2013, there were 1,695 men, women, and children who were identified as homeless. This is for the annual count for HUD. It's called a point-in-time count. Only one day we get to count folks, and that is the point-in-time day. But HUD extrapolates and says there are 4 times as many as those we're actually physically able to count. But officially, about 1,700 to 2,500. Unofficially, you'd be looking at closer to 5,000 to 7,000. That includes folks who are couch hopping, in other words, living with friends for a while. They're not in stable housing. Those who live in the out of doors, those who are in shelters, those who are in programs. So there are men, women, and children suffering in Lexington in great numbers, no question. We're very fortunate that almost 14 years ago we began the Catholic Action Center, which was based on the work of Dorothy Day, who in the early 30s started the Catholic worker movement to respond to all the needs from the Great Depression. In New York, there were anywhere from 250 to 350,000 men, women, and children homeless. Every day they would find 250 to 300 bodies of people who died overnight from exposure, from hunger, from illness, but who had no place to call home. So that was the beginning of what are called houses of hospitality, where people are allowed to come in, receive services. At the Catholic Action Center, we have meals, we have showers, we have bathrooms, we have simple things like mail service and telephone service that the folks can use, things that we all take for granted every day. Almost 2 years ago, in fact, it is 2 years old, the Community Inn, we started on 824 Winchester Road here in Lexington so that we could take care of more of the folks at night. We had been open at the Catholic Action Center since 2000, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where people could come sit on a chair and have a blanket overnight. But now the Community Inn is giving people a place to actually sleep. We average between 95 and 120 people a night, men and women. We do not have children. Children and families are all sent to the Salvation Army. Here in Lexington, we're blessed with the Hope Center, which takes care of 80% of the homeless men. They have programs, they have social services, etc. The Catholic Action Center and the Community Inn are here simply to fill in the gap, to give people a place that they know they can go, a place they can be safe and have a good night's sleep, and during the day, a place they can have use of a telephone, take a shower, have meals, use the restroom. All the things that we all take for granted that are not available to someone who does not have a place to call home. So it's been a blessing. We're an all-volunteer group. We've been doing this, like I said, we're beginning our 14th year, and it's a way that we as community can be sure that the suffering is alleviated for some. Nobody's ever going to have all the answers, but we can walk through it step by step with each story and each person, help them to walk their path to wholeness. We do it all with volunteers. We have over 12,000 volunteers a year who help. Sometimes it's like juggling cats because you never know what the need is going to be and who the person is that's going to be there to fill it. But we have dedicated core volunteers that have done it for years. Some of them have done it for a shorter time, but they take ownership and care about the people on the streets. So our whole bottom line is that we're responsible. We're responsible for each other as community. And whether there's 1,700 people that are out there today that are homeless or whether there's 6,700, whatever that number is, each of them has their own sacred story, and each of them has their own barrier to wholeness. So our whole deal with the Catholic Action Center, the Community Inn, and here at God's Net is that if all of us would look upon each other, we have a quote on our wall, is that this is what we seek, a compassion that can stand in awe at what the poor have to carry rather than stand in judgment of how they carry it. Because as the old wise saying is, you never know a person's life until you've walked in their moccasins for a mile. We're blessed to be able to serve the men and women we do, and we're blessed that the community continues to support us with their hands and hearts and their treasure. As a little statistical thing, the Catholic Action Center has served 4.8 million meals since we opened. Never bought food. All of it is donated. People's leftovers that have been able to feed those who otherwise would be without. We have had over 400,000 nights of shelter given to people who otherwise would have slept outside or in an alley or in a car or arrested and spent their time in jail. We are just very blessed at all of the ways that we've been able to continue to reach out and to continue to reach out to those in need. Every student at the University of Kentucky needs to know that their hands and hearts are also needed. So whenever anyone's looking for volunteer work, go to our website, www.godsnet.info. We welcome volunteers, we welcome students, we welcome folks who can help make a difference. That's it.